Hey guys, sebchoof here. Pixel Quest has been cooking with consistent updates, and while most of them haven't interested me too much, the latest one definitely has. The creator of Moonlight Village in Realm of the Mad God, which is probably my favorite dungeon in that game, created an event boss for Pixel Quest called True Krampus, and it's pretty damn tough. This video is a guide for you to annihilate the boss. I beat it in 3 tries as soon as it released, so I was doing it blind. On my first attempt, I got knowledge checked and ended up being instantly killed. This phase is so much easier when you're inside! No! I'll make sure that doesn't happen to you with the tips I'll provide. Then I tried a second time on a crappy character with no HP pots and got pretty far and was last alive. And then again with no HP pots, I tried on the same character and ended up beating it with one other guy. Since then, I've done too many solo. Here's a guide to help you become a god at the boss, because this boss doesn't primarily need insane bullet hell dodging, but instead correct positioning and knowledge of the boss's attack. You can access this dungeon by chance after completing the Christmas Mansion or the Gingerbread House, both of which you can find by killing Krampus in the realm, or getting keys through the quest rewards or drops from the presents, and more. Before we get into the fights, let's talk about items that will heavily increase your chance of succeeding. Probably most important, stock up on HP pots. Killing pirates on the beach is one of the best ways to fill you up, poor guys. There's some equipable items that can help you an insane amount as well. Robe of the Worm from the Worm Den in the swamp biome makes you immune to sicken, which is quite common in the True Krampus fight. Slowing items are also amazing, like the Ice Bomb and the Frostbow, both dropping from the Arctic Palace in the snow biome. The Frostbow is way better though than the Ice Bomb because it allows you to slow consistently. As long as your attack is over 50, since you shoot an extra shot and it's not mana reliant like the bomb. There's no overpowered magic heal pets in this game after all. Constantly slowing makes some phases like 5 times easier, and probably the only reason why I was able to complete the dungeon so early on such a garbage character. I should also mention there is also a key in the game that allows you to slow your movement when holding it down, but you can also learn to micro dodge by tapping keys in directions to move as slow as you can. This is a good thing to try to practice when you're killing time, like waiting for someone to rush a dungeon or when you're waiting for the gauntlet to open up. Okay. Now it's time for the boss. True Krampus has 3 forms and a few phases in each. The first phase has 2 phases that alternate until you've dealt enough damage to transform the boss into his next form. The very first phase you will see when fighting this boss is a tentacle phase that forces you into a segment that has boss shots firing into it and minion back shots coming as well. The best position during this phase is roughly staying in this circle, which is halfway between the minions and the boss. This gives you the most time to react to both the minions and the boss when they shoot. The boss will periodically fire shots that you need to squeeze between, and they do have a consistent pattern and shoot about every 3 seconds and move slowly. At the same time, the minions are obviously trying to shoot back shots onto you in 1 to 3 shot bursts. They fire every 3 or so seconds and are hard to dodge between, so go around their shots on either side. Usually dodging in the way the tentacle is going is the best, so it doesn't catch up with you. If you don't see any shots from the minion that's close by, it's probably because it's about to fire. But if you're standing roughly where I told you, you'll be able to react to it on time. The other phase that this form alternates with is instead a chase phase. In this one, the boss chases the closest player and shoots wide predictive shotguns of slow shots at the closest player, while also shooting these slow shots that move clockwise and outwards. The best thing to do in this phase, and in all chasing phases, is drag him around the room pretty close to the sides to avoid situations where he could pin you against the wall, and not in a good way. You also want to be moving clockwise with the shots, unlike this idiot on the stream. This is so that you're traveling in the same direction as the shots, so you don't encounter them as much. It's best if you don't try to squeeze in between the shotgun shots because they're rather tight, but instead going around them. Though if you're distant enough, the shots will spread out, making dodging between them more possible. By the way, this is one of the phases where slowing kind of makes this phase a joke, or at least 5 times as easier, because the boss won't be able to keep up with you. Once you've done roughly 40% of the boss's HP, it goes into its second form, where it alternates between another 2 phases. The first one that will always happen is this targeting spraying phase, where the boss shoots a constant line of slow shots at the closest player and also in the exact opposite direction. The boss is also shooting rapid shotguns of slow moving shots in 2 directions, covering 2 quadrants, which alternates between the 2 other quadrants roughly every 7 seconds. There's also shotguns of pink slow shots firing from a random corner every 3 seconds or so. Now this phase, if you're in a group, is probably the easiest of them all, because if you're standing distant enough, you only really need to worry about standing in the quadrant where the boss isn't firing a shotgun, and then also the pink shots that are coming from the corners, and maybe some shots from the rapid fire. The ping shots can sometimes be tough to squeeze through, but if you let them travel further, the gaps between the shots widen. If you are the one being targeted, like if you're solo for example, or if everyone's being a big chicken and standing further than you, what you can do is you can just slightly strafe in one direction until you're near the shotgun quadrant. Then you can start moving the other way by fitting through the shots between the stream and just keep on strafing. You'll also have to squeeze between the ping shots. If a shotgun is coming your way, quickly move to the safe quadrant and then slow down again. The other phase that alternates in this second form is, I don't know what to call this one, but the boss circles the middle while shooting these bomb looking things, and 5 minions rotate around the outside shooting radial shots around them, wiping any idiots that might be standing there. They also shoot blue shots that travel linearly towards the other side of the arena, directly through the middle. Since these shoot in a line, they're very easy to predict. The shots that are way harder to predict is the purple bombs that come from the boss. This is because they travel in a slight arc, but once you understand their movement, it becomes way easier. So these purple bombs, they travel in a slight arc and the direction alternates. So once it will be going slightly clockwise, the other time slightly anti-clockwise. Sometimes the best way to dodge these shots is to move past them rather than going outside and around, because that can take more time, but that's only if the shots have traveled outwards enough. As you can see, this phase and its variant in the next form is pretty chill when you get it down. It just takes some experience and the understanding. Moving around too much might actually be your biggest danger, because it's just going to increase the risk that you run into death. Just be ready to Nexus here, because this one kills you the fastest in my opinion if you take some of the bombs or the lines. Now once you get the boss to about 40% remaining HP, it transforms into its final phase. True Krampus now changes randomly between the 4 phases. 3 of them are harder variations of previous phases, while one is unique that I'll talk about last. The phase you'll always see first in this form is the chasing phase. This one's quite similar to the one in the first form, but much harder. It constantly shoots radial shotguns of slow circle shots or faster triangles that you will need to squeeze between. And every roughly like 5 seconds or so, it shoots dual shots 3 times that decrease in width each time. The targeted shots are much easier to dodge than the shotgun in the first phase, because that shotgun is just so wide, but the lingering radial shots from this phase can be a pain to squeeze through. Again, the best way to make this phase easier is by dragging it around the sides of the room. The direction you drag it in doesn't matter this time. While doing this, make sure to dodge the blue dual shots. It will be easy since they shoot at your current location. If you're the one dragging, make sure to dodge the blue shots, which should be easy if you're the one dragging around the sides of the room, since it does go towards the closest player and it should be constantly missing you. You'll just need to micro dodge the red shots. But by going around the room, it allows the red shots to spread out more, allowing you to more easily squeeze between them. Just whatever you do, don't try the dodge between the dual shots, because each volley comes out fast after the previous. Now this is one of the phases where slowing is the most insane. Slowing probably makes this phase like 10 times easier, since the shotgun is less of a threat and it takes the boss longer to move around the arena with you, making those red shots create a larger gap. Now after the first phase and the third form, all phases are going to be random, but the first one I'll talk about is a harder version of the stream and shotgun phase. At least I assume it's harder. I literally can't tell the difference. Comment down below if you know what it is. Now for a phase where I can see the difference, it's a harder version of the purple bomb phase. It's super similar though, and might actually be easier in my opinion. The difference here is that the boss only shoots bombs that travel in a counterclockwise arc, plus some extra shots. I personally find the bombs moving in alternating directions to be rougher, but there is more shots to dodge in this variation. If you want more tips on how to do the 2 previous phases, check out where I talk about their variations earlier in the video. The last phase to talk about for this boss fight, and the only one to be completely unique to this form, is... man, I'm bad with names, but it's another chase phase. But this one is the hardest one. The middle is impossible to walk through because the box is spawning a constant stream of shots, but that shouldn't be a problem because you shouldn't be dragging the boss through the middle anyway. There is also another 4 boxes around the map in each corner that shoot radial shotguns every 3 seconds or so, as well as some equally spaced small blue shots every 4-ish seconds that sicken, meaning you can't heal for a few seconds after you're hit by them, so they're pretty scary. The boss is also trying to give you a smooch, and he's also shooting his own radial shots, but these shots should be the least of your concern, unless you let him stand on you, which is not advised. Your biggest problem will be the shots from the presence, since you need to walk into them, and they do have a tight spread. Also, being sickened by the blue shots won't be fun. However, I'll teach you how to make this phase infinitely easier. Now, you need to know that the red shotguns from the presence always shoot in a consistent direction, with a consistent gap between all the bullets. So there's always going to be a shot going up, left, down, and right, and 4 shots in between those. Because of this, there's consistent safe areas that you can stand in when you know the shots are coming your way. The most important safe areas, and the ones I utilize the most, are these triangles. What you want to do is stay in this triangle triangle as the present is shooting, then quickly move fast past it, and then when you're on a new side, stay in the next triangle until the next present shoots like 2 or so times, then move on to the next side. You will still need to micro dodge the blue shots though, since they shoot in random directions, but being aware of the spacings of the red shots and their timings is the secret to mastering this phase. Oh yeah, and slowing in this phase is just insane. It makes it a million times easier. Seriously, this bow is MVP for this dungeon if you're trying to finish it for the first time or even consistently. And congratulations, you got your loot that wasn't really worth the risk. Seriously, it really needs a buff. On like the 20-ish solos I've done, I found that you do get a guaranteed tier 6 weapon and a cookie each time, but I only got 2 legendaries from those 20 kills, and they were both the robe that I already got when I was streaming. Oh yeah, you should totally follow my stream if you want to see more crazy Pixel Quest gaming. Link will be down below in the description and the comments. Also, like the video and subscribe if it helped you. Make sure to share this with your friends that are having a tough time, and shout out to the patrons, YouTube members, and Twitch subscribers that keep the channel alive. I'll catch you next time. Peace.